So yesterday I discovered the solicitations of DC Comics for the month of February 2016, and in it I found something very interesting. But before I continue, for those that don't understand what solicitations are, basically they're more like summaries for upcoming comics, usually show summaries of comics 2 to 3 months in advance. Why do solicitations exist? I have no clear answer for it, but if I had to guess, I think it's to get readers to feel hype over events or something like that. I don't normally look at solicitations only because I feel like it spoils important information sometimes. But anyway, in solicitations, I was looking for Teen Titans just to see what the next story arc would be about, but then I noticed this. If you haven't noticed already, the creative team for the Teen Titans comic has changed. Now it's Greg Pak as the writer and Noel Rodriguez as the artist. This change is a good thing and a bad thing. Let me explain. Greg Pak is one of the few writers that I actually like from DC Comics that are currently working on the New 52, and I believe he is currently working only on Action Comics. Now, I only read 5 comics that he has written, and 4 out of the 5 I really like and would recommend you guys to give it a read. These comics are his run on Action Comics and the early run on Batman and Superman, both from DC Comics, the comic book adaptation of Battlestar Galactica from Dynamite Entertainment, and World War Hulk from Marvel Comics. Now, the one bad comic that I really don't like is the colossal mindfuck that was John L's storyline in the Superboy comic book series. That was so bad, DC ended up killing off John L. and bringing back Con L. Well, then again, nobody really liked John L. to begin with, so it's not really that much on Greg, it's more on DC's decision for even killing off Con L in the first place, but hey, writers aren't perfect, guys, shit happens. But from what I've noticed from these comics, especially Action Comics, is Greg focuses more on character than story. Let me give you an example of what's going on in Action Comics. Without spoiling much, Superman has currently lost his ability to fly, ability to use heat vision, and most, if not all, his invulnerability. This is all due to the solar flare ability that he had back in the Superman comic book series, which I believe if he uses it, it renders all of his other powers down to none, and he has to wait until they come back. If I remember correctly, the first time he uses it, and the first time this was announced to us, the readers, that this was going to happen to him, it mentioned that it was going to take 24 hours for his powers to come back. So, to top it all off, Lois Lane reveals his secret identity to the world. Superman, no longer feeling super, embarks on a journey to rediscover his heroic nature. At the same time, we see Superman's humanity, or to put it more precise, we learn more about Clark Kent than Superman. I've always said this to anybody who've been asking me what is the difference between Action Comics and Superman comics if they both are about Superman. Well, here's the thing. Superman Comics is about Superman, while Action Comics is about Clark Kent. When reading Action Comics, we understand and explore Clark as a character. That's been true since Grant Morrison began writing the comic from issue 1 to 18, when Andy Diggle picked up after Grant, and to even my surprise, Scott Liddell. Even he wrote more about Clark Kent than Superman. I mention this because Teen Titans is in desperate need of a writer who can write characters, and I believe that DC made the right choice to put Greg Pak as a writer. The only bad thing that I can say about him is we don't really know what he has planned for the Teen Titans. Yet. Teen Titans haven't gotten any good reputation since the reboot has started. I don't think the series can take another case of bad writing, bland characters, and weak villains. But considering all the stories that I've read from Greg, I have good faith that he can at least do the story or history of Teen Titans some good. So that's the good thing. Time for the bad thing. Noel Rodriguez is a fairly new artist. The only artwork I've seen was from 2 comics, Red Hood and the Outlaws issue 27, which the artwork in there is about average, and the somewhat underrated comic Lost Kids issue 5, which also was a bit average, but at least better than the artwork in Red Hood and the Outlaws. So what is so bad about that? Well, upon looking back on these issues, I found out that he had help with other artists, so I'd never really seen him do a comic where he is mainly the artist. That is, until this comic was released. Now, this comic was drawn by 3 artists, including Noel, but the beginning half of the comic was clearly drawn by Rickon, while the other half was drawn by the other 2. However, that other half was horrifically bad. So freaking bad that it was almost unreadable. I don't normally talk about artwork, I've mentioned this before, but god fuck, damn, man! I call this bad because he will officially draw for Teen Titans and first impressions are important. When you pick up a comic that you don't know, what do you do with it? Do you read it or do you skim through it? Most likely you would probably skim through it. If you do, I'm pretty sure the thing that you look at the most is the artwork. So imagine the first thing you see is this type of bad artwork. So yeah, you can say I'm a bit skeptic on this, but who knows, he might even surprise me. Well, those are my thoughts on the new creative team for Teen Titans, the comic book series. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, my name is Bizkit Rebellion. Have a nice day. See you guys on the next video.